If you clicked on this video, that means that you must be interested in customizing your own pair of sneakers. And because of that, you're interested to know how important surface preparation really is. Is it merely a precaution that customizers use in order to protect the durability of their work? Is it imperative? Which steps could you skip over and which should you really not? I'm about to answer all of those questions in a very short amount of time. The first question you need to ask is, what type of material is your shoe made out of? Is it made out of real leather? Is it made out of synthetic leather? Is it made of suede? Is it made of canvas, fabric? Are you not sure? If you're not sure, let me give you a quick rundown. Typically, most Nike shoes like the Jordan or Air Force One are made out of genuine leather. If you've managed to pick up a fake pair of Air Force Ones or Jordans to save a few bucks, you might have a synthetic variant on your hands. Most Adidas or Puma shoes don't use real leather, and they also opt for a synthetic variant. And then of course, most popularly, you have Converse shoes or Vans. 90% of the time these are canvas shoes. Now today's video covers pretty much anything except plastic, suede or canvas. If you've got a pair of shoes that looks like it could be leather or might be fake leather, then this is the video for you. Now you might ask, why bother prepping the shoes? Surely I can just use leather paint and paint directly on them? Well, there are two main reasons for surface preparation before beginning with painting. Number one, and probably most importantly, is most of these leather or fake leather shoes come with a silicone sealant from the factory in order to make them water and wear resistant. What this means is that the shoe is already coated with a substance that will prevent your paint from soaking into the surface of the leather. Basically, we want to remove any obstacles stopping our paint from bonding directly with the leather. Secondly, your surface preparation directly correlates to the longevity of your piece. Poor surface preparation means your art won't last that long, but good surface preparation leads to good art durability, meaning that the time and effort you spent on your sneakers won't be wasted and will last a good long time.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Now our first part of preparation for these shoes is gently sanding the surface with a piece of 400 grit sandpaper. You can get these fairly cheap at your local hardware or craft store. And all you need to do is gently sand the entire surface of the sneaker all the way around all of the little nooks and crannies. Sometimes I like to fold my sandpaper in such a way that I can get into all sorts of corners very easily, like so. For a pair of shoes like a Jordan or an Air Force One, there are so many different panels, and getting into all of the little corners can be really time consuming. To sand a pair of shoes like this would probably take me around about 2 hours. Now I know that's a really long time, but trust me, it's worth it if you want your paint to last. Now it's important to mention that you need to go very gently over the stitching. If you press too hard, you can actually fray the stitching a little bit, which is going to detract from the overall impression of your piece. So press lightly, be consistent, and be patient. Any part of the shoe that you expect paint to touch, you're going to need to sand beforehand. For the second part, to remove the silicone sealant, we're going to need some surgical gloves, some acetone, which you can find in nail polish remover, some Q-tips, and a clean rag. The acetone itself is to remove the silicone sealant. The rag is to apply the acetone, and the Q-tips are to get into those nasty little sections where it might be difficult to get with the rag. Alrighty, once that's done, you are ready to start painting. If, however, during the painting process you realize that your paint is not bonding effectively to the surface, you'll be able to tell this by brief hydrophobic moments, or you'll get little bits of white showing through your paint. This means that the silicone sealant on the shoes is still present and you have not effectively prepared the surface. It can be a huge pain, I know. I've had this happen halfway through a portrait. But all you need to do is take a Q-tip and some acetone and carefully remove all paint around that area to make sure that you get rid of that silicone base. Then you can slowly build your paints back again and fix your mistake. Now just remember, if you have any problems down the line with paint lifting or cracking, no amount of paint above it and no quality of finisher or clear coat will ever fix that problem. If paint is cracking or lifting, it means that it doesn't have an effective bond with the surface of the shoe. And as I say, bonded paint will never lift. That's a good time to go back and reapply the acetone while you can in order to save your artwork. Now the question, would I skip any of these steps if I had the choice? Usually I would say no, because durability and longevity is one of my primary focuses when it comes to giving quality work on my customers. But if you're just messing around with a pair of sneakers at home that you're trying to give second life, you could skip the sanding section, but you definitely shouldn't skip the acetone. Now, I have to have a disclaimer because certain shoes will behave different. Some extremely poor quality fakes that have got bad quality leather or fake leather as they call it, may start to disintegrate after a little bit of sanding or even a little bit of acetone. If the surface of your shoe does disintegrate even a little bit during sanding or during surface preparation, make sure that you stop immediately. You can always do a test on an inconspicuous part of the shoe, for example the heel tab. And if you're super uncertain about acetone or sanding, you can add a little bit of paint to the heel of your shoe. And you can test the durability of your paint once it's dry by rubbing the tip of a toothpick against your paint. If the paint is bonded well to the surface of your shoe, the paint will not come off. If it starts to come off, you'll know that your paint has not made an effective bond and your surface preparation is incomplete. I hope this video shed some light on the reasons and the methods involved in surface preparation for customizing sneakers. If you learned anything new in this video, I would love to hear back from you in the comments below. And as always, your support is always greatly appreciated. And that's it for today. See you next time.